Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a very fast review on the Titan Camber bar. So if you follow my channel, you'll understand that I'm not a huge fan of Titan Fitness. I've had a lot of Titan Fitness products in the past, and a lot of the times that I buy them, I'm just kind of let down for the lifetime of the product. But that seems like it may be starting to change. So I've been wanting a Camber bar for maybe like 6 months to a year. My coach got one. I saw that he got one. He actually got a Titan one, and my initial words were trash talk about how it was probably going to bend and it was going to break and it was going to be a piece of junk, and he said that it was a good piece of kit. So after some time and some thinking and selling some other pieces of equipment that I don't use anymore, I decided I would buy one and test it out and give it a shot. Here it is before you today. It actually arrived in some pretty decent-ish packaging. There's only one little mark from shipping, and it's not even Titan's fault. I thought it was at first. I thought it was. I'll show you a close-up of the damage, so to speak. But basically, as I was unpackaging it, I was like, oh wow, there's a hole in the side of the box, and you could see where the sleeve had been ground down, like someone had drug the box across the ground. I didn't think anything of it. I got the box in the gym, I opened it up, threw the bar in the rack, and when I turned around and looked, I was like, oh, that's really weird. There's a huge long scrape mark through the driveway. And as it turns out, the UPS guy, in his frustration, is having to deliver an 85-pound bar, had just left it at the bottom of the driveway. Maybe not the bottom, but he didn't bring it all the way in. And so my poor wife had to drag the bar in. And the video of her doing it was pretty funny. I should have saved it, but unfortunately I didn't. But she got it in the gym, but she just wore down the sleeve a little bit. It doesn't actually affect the functionality at all. But I just wanted to go over a few of the things that I really like about this bar. And to be honest, there's not a lot that I don't like about this bar. So let's start with the things that I hated. So you'll notice that I have this white athletic tape that runs basically from upright to upright inside of the bar. The finish on this thing is the one critique that I have. If you use this bar without athletic tape, what I found was that it just slipped right off of my shirt almost every single time. In order for me to get it to stay on my back, I had to like hunch over to I was having to hunch over to a point where it wasn't correct. So I threw the athletic tape on, and once I threw the athletic tape on, it was good to go. But it was a matter of just doing that. But the powder coat that's on here is a decent powder coat. It's only gotten chipped in a couple spots. So up here on the top, there's a small chip, and of course on the end of the sleeve where it got dragged across the ground. But other than that, it's a nice powder coat. It's just really smooth. It doesn't have any texture to it. So one of the pieces of equipment that I've reviewed just recently was the MB Power Center Foo Bar. If I could give Titan Fitness a little bit of feedback on this, it would be to buy a Foo Bar and do that powder coat on this bar. If you did, you wouldn't have a problem. There'd be plenty of grip. But the athletic tape works just fine. Athletic tape costs maybe, I don't know, $2 a roll. I don't even know what it costs because I have a giant box of it. But this is what you get. So let's talk about the things that I do like. So first off, it's a solid bar. It weighs 85 pounds. Like picking it up demonstrates anything to you, but it weighs 85 pounds, which is heavy, and it is well built. Like I've never said that about a piece of Titan Fitness equipment before, but this thing is actually pretty well built, or at least it seems well built. I've used it a whole bunch of times already. The design is sound. So part of the design with the Camber bar, you'll see two different types. One, where the camber doesn't drop until after it goes over the J-cup. And the whole idea with that is that if you rack the Camber bar, it can't fall off of the J-cups. This one has it where the uprights are inside of the J-cups, which the safety there is that on a standard rack, this will impact the J-cup before this can actually slip off. So this is a monster light rack, which means it's 49 inches wide total. It's 43 inside to inside, 3 inches on each side, which means that even with this, it has enough. Now even if you were to take and push out like hard, you're still catching by over an inch. There's about, okay, maybe about 1 inch of it still holding on there. But in order for that to happen, you'd have to deliberately push this thing over. So another thing I like about it is I love the angle down of these down sleeves. I don't know what to call them. Of the drops for the camber. I really like them. I like that they're angled. I like that they're not straight up and down because it gives you somewhere to hang on to. With the camber bar, you can either go over it like a normal barbell. I have a shoulder mobility issue right now that keeps me from really doing that effectively. And so I tend to drop down and put my hands right here. But it feels good, it feels comfortable. You can also grab it here if you wanted to. The welds on this thing are just clean. And I've never said that about a Titan Fitness piece of equipment before, but this thing is solid. Actually, this thing is like, let's just talk about that for a second. This thing is literally solid. It is made out of It's made out of 1.5 inch solid bar stock for these parts. So basically the cross member where your back goes, the down member, and leading to the sleeve. And when you get to the sleeve, it widens up a little bit to 1 15/16. So now on that, with the 1 15/16, that does mean that what I've had to use is, instead of being able to just use my standard barbell collar, I've had to use an axle collar. And if you don't have an axle collar, it's really not that big of a deal. This does still have some stick to it. It just doesn't hold that well as it holds perfectly. So if you do have a standard collar, these will work, but the axle collars just work a little bit better. So like I said before, this thing is put together pretty well, especially for something that was made in China, not made in the US. So as I throw my level up here, it is perfectly level, just sitting in the J-cups. The reason I'm doing this is because we're going to drop it down onto the actual plate loading pins and see how level it is there. And this is kind of the wild thing, is that both sides are absolutely perfect. This just impresses me to a level that I don't think you guys quite understand. This bar is half the price of the Rogue Fitness version of this bar. It is less than half the price of the Sorinex version of this bar. And I hate to say this, but this is a really good barbell. I don't know how it would do under supremely heavy loads. I am not that strong of a person. My version of a heavy squat is in the 400s. I haven't had this thing loaded up to 400 yet, but I have had it in the 300s, and I can tell you that it's perfectly fine in the 300s. But it's just a well put together bar for a really good price, plus free shipping. So that's it. That's my review, and I'm really curious what you guys think. Normally, I'm not a big fan of copycat branding, but a Camber bar is a pretty standard specialty barbell, so it's really not copycatting anybody in particular, although this does look really close to the Rogue Fitness bar. But tell me what you guys think down below. Do you think this is a quality piece of kit? Obviously, a Camber bar is not a piece of equipment that every garage gym owner needs, but if you want one, is this something that you would consider? I gotta say that after using it for a couple months now, that I really like it. I really enjoy using it, and I recommend the Titan Fitness version of this bar. I think that's the first time I've ever said that. That's my review. I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. And remember, when it comes to gym equipment, you should always be looking for something better and something awesome, and always badass.